All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down a series of really stark warnings about what it's like to be in a relationship with a narcissist. We're going to distill the key patterns of behavior, the things that can be so damaging and confusing, so you can see them with total clarity. Let's dive in.
You know, the whole experience really kicks off with this wild contradiction. There's just no middle ground. One minute you are being showered with the most over-the-top praise, making you feel like you are the absolute center of their universe, but the next, the very instant they feel angry or slighted, all of that praise just flips into these elaborate, awful curses. It's a constant dizzying swing from being put on a pedestal to being torn down.
So that leads us right into our first big theme, the narcissist's two faces. And a great way to think about it is that you've been placed on a very unstable pedestal.
And this, right here, this is the absolute core of how they maintain psychological control. See, they don't just deny their own issues, they actively project them onto you. And over time, this constant blame shifting just completely erodes your confidence. It makes you question your own reality, your own sanity, and ultimately, it makes you feel like you're the one with the problem. Okay, so what happens when you start to see through the cracks, when you start to figure this out? Well, that brings us to our next point, keeping you in the web. Because the moment a narcissist senses you're becoming aware, they will fight tooth and nail to resist it.
And look, this whole thing follows a pretty predictable and frankly, pretty scary pattern. First, you start to wake up. You realize something is deeply wrong here. But here's the point you really have to understand. Your healing is a direct threat to them. It messes up their control. And because of that, they will actively try to sabotage your recovery. They will do anything and everything they can to keep you confused, to keep you gullible, and to keep you doubting yourself.
This constant psychological warfare, well, it doesn't just stay in your head. It has a profound physical cost. Let's talk about the incredible toll it takes on your body and your mind, what we're calling the invisible wounds. So what's happening on the inside? You find yourself becoming silent a lot because you learn that speaking your truth just leads to punishment. The psychological pain, it can feel completely unbearable. You literally feel yourself withering away, and the constant stress can even make you seem scattered or compromised to people on the outside. You really try to put on a brave face, but that deep, bone-weary fatigue, it eventually shows, all over your face and in the way you carry your body.
You know, they say the body keeps the score, and it's so true. All that stress has to go somewhere, and it starts to show up in these very real, very physical ways. We're talking about chronic fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix. We're talking about hair loss, changes in your skin, even dizziness or fainting spells because you're in a constant state of high alert. These are not in your head. This is your body screaming that something is wrong.
And here's the part that can make you feel like you're completely alone or even going crazy. You go to doctors, right? You're looking for answers to these very real physical issues, but they run all the tests and they find nothing. There's no medical cause. Why? Because the source of the illness isn't a virus or some deficiency, it's the relationship itself.
Which brings us to how this cycle ends. When the narcissist decides you're no longer of use to them, the process is swift, it's cold, and it's brutal. Welcome to the final discard. You are replaced and erased.
To really wrap your head around the discard, you first have to understand how they see you. And it's harsh, but you are not a partner. You are a utility. You're like a tape recorder they use to play back their own favorite memories, their own noble glories. Your entire role is purely functional, and it's all designed to prop up their ego. So when you stop serving that function, this is what happens. You're replaced. Not with sadness, not with regret, but with the exact same thoughtless ease as someone tossing out an old, worn-out shoe for a new one. The cold, transactional reality of that is one of the most painful truths to absorb. So what about all those memories you held together? That whole tape recording of your shared history? It's just erased. The moment you are no longer suitable for the role, the entire thing gets wiped clean from their mind because it no longer serves them. All of it. The good, the bad, everything. It's just gone as if it never even happened. So after all of this, after the confusion, the pain, the erasure, what is the ultimate takeaway? Well, it all comes down to this one final critical point. Remember their true nature. See them for their unchanging core.
Let's just strip away all the layers of complexity, okay? Let's get right to it. The definition here is blunt, and it's direct for a reason. A scoundrel with no morals. It might sound harsh, but its purpose is to cut right through that fog of manipulation and confusion.
And that means the most important thing you can do is this.
Stop expecting them to operate from a moral or ethical compass that you understand. They just don't have one. Anytime they seem to be doing the right thing, you have to see it for what it is. It's a performance. It's a calculated move designed to get them something they want, and it will not last.
And that's where we'll leave it. This knowledge, it isn't meant to be a weapon or a final judgment. It's a tool. It's a tool for clarity, to help you see the situation for exactly what it is. And so, with that clarity, knowing their nature is unchanging, we leave you with one final, empowering question. What comes next for you?